Ba-dum-bum-bum. Ladies and gentlemen, this is JoeJinMovieSoAwesome. I'm Joe.
I am Won-Jin.
We're going to talk about Moon Knight's finale, episode 6, and the series as a whole.
Yeah, so let's go back to the first episode.
Yeah.
You know, remember when we talked about this after watching the first episode?
Yeah.
The first episode, it was good enough that it kind of hyped me.
Yeah.
To see what's coming next.
Mm-hmm.
But based on my expectation from after watching the first episode, I still believe that the show did not deliver to my expectations.
I mean, like, this is a problem here. You know what I liked about Loki? Is that they were not afraid to not conclude the series. But here, up to episode 5, I was kind of worried how are they going to wrap this up, right?
That's a really good point.
And then the reason why we call this title awesome and sucked at the same time is because I hated how the Ammit plot just ended like that.
Yeah.
Suddenly,
Because remember, out of the 6 episodes, 5 episodes were building up to her resurrection.
I know. And then she just does that Dragon Ball thing. Well, like suck the soul, and she becomes big, and we get this Godzilla fight in the pyramid, and then I assume she dies like that. Like, whatever happened to... I mean, it's so funny because we just talked about Multiverse of Madness. Like, why can't these villains come back again? This is a comic book series. Like, but it's awesome at the same time because I like the reveal of that guy Jake at the end though. I like how I knew Khonshu, because I think we talked about this last time. I knew Khonshu was underhanded, and then he was basically lying to Mark and Steve when he said you're free.
Not lying. He was telling the truth, but he knew that there was a third identity. So he was saying that yes, you two are free. I'm not going to mention the third one.
Yeah. Yeah, but he was lying in the big picture. So, but I like that because I like that he has a Spanish speaking third personality, which is kind of hilarious. I love the limousine scene and shoot him in the head. But I just don't like the fact that Ethan Hawke was just thrown away like that.
Yeah.
And another problem I have is Layla. Because up to episode 5, Layla earned her respect. But suddenly at the episode 5, with no explanation whatsoever, the hippo goddess suddenly says, I'll give you power, hon. And then boom, she becomes this winged like whatever. Like, I was kind of like, what's going on here? What is going on?
I think the problem is they were trying to cram too many things in the last episode. So definitely this episode this show either needed more episodes or they didn't have to conclude the story here. I know.
And you know what's sad? Up to episode 5, this show has been fascinating for me. Like, you know, it's the opposite feeling of seeing like Falcon and Captain America, where I wish the series would end as soon as possible. I thought that
was kind of painful watching.
I thought that should have been in 4 episodes at top. But here, I was hoping there's an episode missing in between here.
Yeah.
Like, and another problem is we didn't get any explanations about the Egyptian mythology. All we got is Ammit coming out saying the standard bad villain line. And then her argument with Khonshu was very superficial. Like, I thought there would be more of a moral conflict there.
What I was hoping to see was like the moment she's resurrected, she would just kill Harrow.
Yeah. We talked about that.
Yeah, she puts him on a scale. It's like, oh, so you're a future sinner. Bye-bye. And then he dies.
Yeah. And you know why it was surprising? Because before episode 6, this show dealt with adult themes, and it was violent. And suddenly, at the last episode, Ammit just becomes the Dragon Ball villain again, minus the violence. And then and God's going to be killed, apparently. And then they did it in a way that's so rushed. Like, this is even more rushed than, like, Asgardian mythology, even. Because Asgardian mythology happens over 3 movies of Thor and Avengers in between. But here, we're like, yeah, they're gods, but they can get shot in the head if they're put in a human body. And I was like, then... isn't Khonshu supposed to die if the doll cracks? Why does that free Khonshu, and why does shooting Ethan Hawke in the head kills Ammit? Like, and then And then the Egyptian gods are the most capricious gods I have ever seen. One day you're trapping Khonshu, and then suddenly you're doing the Power Rangers things and doing Ammit. I was so furious at that. I was like 2 episodes ago, you were talking about like this whole world view about how the humans abandon you, and then why are you trapping Ammit? Like, if you don't care about humanity, what do you care what Ammit does to them? And then she's just like Thanos. She's like a Thanos light in the sense that it seems like she's not going to kill everybody anyway. Like, so...
You know what I also didn't like about the last episode is the fact that Mark goes back to the desert.
Oh,
and then he meets Steven again.
Yeah.
But what I didn't like about that scene is not only the fact that he went back, but also the fact that while he was walking all the way to meet Steven, nothing happened to him. I was thinking, aren't you supposed to like freeze the moment you set foot on that desert?
Yeah.
That's what happened to Steven.
Yeah.
So why is he okay like until the last minute?
See, like, I agree with that because you said that in the last podcast about how it makes sense. Because you remember we were talking about why the balance of scale works, and you said it made sense that Steve basically either disappears or Mark accepts that part of him, right? But here they're kind of retreading, right? They kind of need Steve suddenly.
They reversed it.
Yeah, so it's like, what was the point of the balancing of scale with the Hippo Goddess anyway if Steve's going to come back and Mark is just his old self? So, and I didn't like, you know what though? Like, okay, let's talk about the series as a whole. I had a great time. I did. This series was almost so awesome, and the fact that they put an Indiana Jones vibe, some horror vibe, some weird like 70s
psychological
game thing. Like that Shutter Island vibe of the episode 5. But suddenly it's like, okay, the program's over. We set the clock, done with it. I was just like, hey, man, I was having a good time.
I would say, yes, I also enjoyed the show as a whole, yes. But at best, I can say that the show is very forgettable.
No.
I don't think it kind of left me with a lasting impression.
Let me rephrase that. There was an impression, but they didn't give us enough to chew on. Because Jake killed Ethan Hawke, end of story. Maybe they can leave the story in a bin. Because Multiverse of Madness at least gave us the question of what's going to happen to Doctor Strange now. What's going to happen to...
Oh, by the way, spoiler alert.
Stuff. Sorry. Every one of our podcasts has spoiler. We're going to put it down on our channel. Don't watch our podcast if you have not watched any of the series we mentioned. But anyway, I was like, there was no like questions afterward. I was like, how does... And here's the big thing. How does this connect with the rest of the Marvel universe?
I have no idea. Maybe we will see if they come up with the second season. Then maybe we'll see what happens there. Or maybe Marvel has other intertwining characters in play.
I think they played...
Mind. Maybe things like Blade or what's the other character that they...
I don't know. None of that was even hinted at the series. That was just all like media speculation and fan theories. Like here, the problem is, you know what it is? They went in. They were like, oh yeah, I'm going to bet hard. And at the last moment, they're like, nah, but I'm not going to watch the river. F that. Go safe. And we all got to have happy time, right? Because up to episode 5... it was a very fascinating trip through psychological drama, Egyptian gods. But that being said, it's still awesome because I like the Jake reveal though. I think they were betting on that really hard because it was just basically like Ammit is a plot device.
You know what the show needed was like an extra episode or two, strictly in the perspective of Jake.
Oh, that's true.
That would be awesome. It's gonna fill in all the blanks that we've seen from Steven and Mark.
Oh, but you know what though? Like now that you bring that up, maybe they're doing that for season 2. Maybe Jake thing is coming up.
Because now we can be quite convinced that Jake is the one who killed Layla's father.
Yeah. Oh.
Or maybe
we don't know that.
Yeah,
though.
maybe we can make it into a surprise, and Mark actually killed the father.
Maybe.
And you know how Mark, we've seen through episode 5 how Steven was born. So maybe through some other episodes and incidents, we're going to witness how Jake eventually gets born.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But the problem is we don't have much to speculate on because he was revealed so late. Because Steve, we had a lot of things to guesswork. Because there's the scene with him and Layla where they talk about Egyptian geography and like history, right? But I don't know. But I think Mark kind of mentioned that he saw the other person, so there's no way he's fighting with himself, right? Or maybe not. I don't know. Maybe the series hasn't done that yet. But and Khonshu was also kind of wasted in that they just gave us hint that he's like not a clean slate god. But I thought there would be more lines with him and Ethan Hawke. Where Ethan Hawke is like, Ammit is a better... Like, because remember that line Ammit says to Khonshu? Oh, you're just jealous because he's such a loyal avatar to me, right? I don't know, but maybe explain more about the parasitic relationship between Egyptian gods and their avatars, which is different from the other gods, apparently. Because, but like... It's not fun to think about these because they just gave us so little while, like, hyping us up a lot. And I don't know, if you're a comic book fan, maybe you know more than us, but just us watching the series fresh, it's just that I don't know.
Another thing I didn't like about was the fight scene in the end where Layla and Mark, they both fight against these guys with guns. And there's a scene where Layla is being shot at while she's like kind of stuck and she's covering herself with her body with wings, and the dude is like shooting straight at the wings. Why don't you shoot her in the head? It's like, what are you? The guy is like a few feet away from her.
Oh my god! Like, are we gonna talk about it? Let me tell you something. The grade of like maybe the action directors like quit mid-season. Episode 1 was awesome. 2 was awesome, and then the grade of like choreography kept going down. Later, it just became headshots or not laser beams, and then I think because the last episode made me think that okay, maybe like the blackout thing where Mark like wakes up and the guys are beat down. Maybe that's done to save budget because the quality of action drops every episode. Like, it seriously does. Because there isn't like a car chase scene here or anything. And like here, what bothered me was, why is Ammit dueling Khonshu and why are the minions fighting each other? Why can't there be a cross? And
that would be awesome.
And they didn't even explain Ammit like becoming bigger when she absorbs souls. Because from the prior episodes,
I was like, wait a minute, I think I've seen this in Shang-Chi.
No, and not just that. It's just like, we never got a sense that Ammit was doing this to empower herself or something.
I thought it was all about judgment.
Yeah, and then suddenly she does the like Dragon Ball thing where she sucks the souls and she just becomes bigger. I was just like,
okay.
And how is that like? And how is Khonshu any better than her? Because like, I just didn't understand like what was at stake when they were fighting. Like there was no hint whatsoever. No, there were some lines where Khonshu, Ethan Hawke, and Mark talks about what's right and wrong. Then at least give more voice to Ammit. Like, why is she doing this? Is she doing for selfish villain reasons where she wants to conquer the world? It didn't seem that way. The hints every time Ethan Hawke spoke, he was talking about justice. So it was just weird at the end.
So overall, it just needed more time. And a few more episodes.
Let me say it in 2 lines. Great start, lazy ending. That's it. And then it's a shame because I was up to episode 5. I was really looking forward to season 2. I really was. This was very, very interesting.
If they had actually taken the psychological drama path, it would have been
even more interesting.
Yeah, even more interesting.
Yeah, because the whole episode 5 kind of became pointless because you mentioned it so well. If you're gonna rescue Steve, why go through that balance of scale in the first place? And then now that you bring that up, I didn't understand that whole mission at all. Like, why do you need to reach Osiris Gate? Whatever. Like, so there was just like, at least in Loki, within the context of the show, what Kang was saying made sense. Here, like, the problem is we still don't have any idea of how this world works. We don't understand the mythos or the logic behind this world. So that was a big problem for me. But overall, watch it for Oscar Isaac's acting. If you like rompy good fun, do watch it. Just skip the last episode.
Well, I would still say it's much better than Winter Soldier and Falcon.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. This one is just pure like Indiana Jones mixed with fantasy. The superhero movies are basically fantasy. Here, I liked it.
We still need to give props to the music.
Yeah. No, I like the fact that the Ammit's statue is in Alexander the Great's mummy, because that's kind of it's supposed to be stupid and funny at the same time, because you know how like, oh, it turns out you know, Illuminati is real, Michelangelo's code is real, you know, because you know we like that stuff.
Da Vinci Code.
Yeah, Da Vinci Code is real, so I like that. So overall, I'm gonna give a grade here. I was gonna give it awesome, but this one is just average.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay is what I would give.
Yeah, I mean, because
it could have been pretty awesome, but okay.
Yeah, I mean that's exactly right. It was episode 5 just hyped me up so much, but I have to be like fair. Overall, it has been really, really interesting until the end. So I don't know. Maybe they can salvage in the season 2. But anyway.
All right, so we'll wrap it up here, and we'll take a quick break to talk about Better Call Saul.
Episode 4. See you soon.